Good morning, viewers and listeners of Concerned Citizens Media. Uh, Welcome back and nice to have you here. First, I want to say this. I really appreciate you listeners taking the time and commenting on my work, on my different videos. So that's very encouraging to do this job. This is not an easy job, really. I'm just doing my best. So I really appreciate. Thank you so much for doing that, for liking and sharing my video and giving the feedback on my work. So I appreciate that. I always try to respond to your comments as much as possible. Thank you so much for your constructive, encouraging, very productive comments. Thank you. So I have some news to share with you. Some, as usual, some reading to do, then videos to share with you. Here you go. Here are the news and the Concerned Citizens Media comment for June 14, 2021. The Eritrean and the Ethiopian Defense Forces stationed at West Shore, Gindabret district at Basha village, at the Basha village, killed 6 unarmed Oromo men and arrested 12 others. Local eyewitnesses also reported other grave human rights violations such as intimidation, harassment, burning and looting of civilian properties by these Ethiopian and Eritrean forces. Eritrean soldiers are repeating similar atrocities they carried out on Tigrayans, now on Oromos, with the help of Ethiopian defense forces. Eritrea ignored the calls for the immediate withdrawal from the Tigray region and now widening their criminal operations in Oromia region thanks to the blessing they got from Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. On another news, Prosperity Security Forces killed a teenager and dragged his body on the streets of Jimma as a warning sign for other Oromos not to be affiliated with Onek Shane. This teenager's body is circulating on social media, and all civil society should condemn Ethiopian government for allowing such irresponsible conduct on its own citizens. So this thing is coming back and again, killing and denying proper burials and dragging the dead body on the streets. I don't know where they got this kind of cruelty. It's extreme cruelty. Once you kill a person, he should get proper burial, a dignified human burial, instead of dragging him on the streets and calling him Shane, Shane, Shane. This is inappropriate. This is a grave human rights violations. The Prosperity Party security officials and police conducting such irresponsible behavior. I know there is no law in order in that country. The law in order is broken, especially in Oromia region, especially. So Abiy is the one ordering the killing or conducting all these atrocities with the help of his security guards, security officers, police, federal police, and this killing squad. So I hope they will stop. I hope the international community, Human Rights Watch, pay attention to this grave human rights violation. Very grave, very ugly, very inhumane. You know, once a person is dead, he should get a dignified burial service, not dragging on the streets of Oromia, calling him, Shane, whatever you. I know you try to intimidate others or threaten others or use it as a warning, but yes, it might work for you temporarily, but this is a very bad conduct. You must stop. Abiy Ahmed, you need to tell your your servant to stop doing this, to stop killing teenagers and dragging their bodies. So the international community should pay attention and put Abiy Ahmed in additional warning. The G7 meeting, which signifies the importance of global cooperation, is ended. The leaders of the G7 countries, such as Canada, Japan, United Kingdom, United States, Italy, France, and Germany, ended a 3-day summit with a diverse set of initiatives, including a pledge to vaccinate poorer countries against the coronavirus. They already pledged 1 billion dose vaccine, and more is promised in the future. So this is one of the pledge of that G7 meeting, to help the vaccination task, especially poor country, African countries and other. The other is a promise to make large corporations pay their fair share of taxes, and a plan to tackle climate change with a blend of technology and money. So these are some of the pledges the G7 did when they conclude their meeting. The G7 group also called for an immediate end to hostilities in Ethiopia's Tigray region. So they highlighted the importance of ceasefire, ending the conflict in the Tigray region. This is their statement. We are deeply concerned by the ongoing conflict in Ethiopia's Tigray region and the reports of an unfolding major humanitarian tragedy, said their communique. We call for an immediate cessation of hostilities, unimpeded humanitarian access to all areas, and the immediate withdrawal of Eritrean forces. So they pay attention to the global issue, which is the serious humanitarian crisis in the Tigray region, and about the withdrawal of Eritrean troops and an end to the war. I don't know if Eritrea or Ethiopia will listen or pay attention to this G7 demand or warning. They ignored the American warning, they ignored the European Union warning. Now it's coming from the G7, from the most powerful countries in the world. So we'll see. We'll see how they're gonna respond. I know they are under sanctions, but The sanctions, I don't know, they are not feeling yet. They may be waiting for some kind of military action, I think, because they don't care about these concerns and visa restrictions and economic restrictions. They will act maybe when the United States or NATO or G7, European Union coordinated some kind of action against Isaias Afewerki and Abiy Ahmed. Then they will start listening at that time. Now they are playing hide and seek. Eritrea refused to withdraw from Tigray region. They are expanding even deeper into Oromia region, and Abiy refused for ceasefire. Still intimidation on humanitarian aids. So I have one video from the Deputy Prime Minister of Ethiopia about new claim. It's a claim, accusing international aid organization like smuggling weapons and arming TPLF soldiers. So this is a new claim from Ethiopian government. I have a video at the end. It is in English from Mr. Demeka, Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister Demeka Mekonnen. So this is very serious allegation. Another humanitarian call is from Pope Francis. The Pope demands food aid reach starving people of Tigray. Pope Francis demanded on Sunday that humanitarian aid reach hungry people in the war-torn Tigray region of northern Ethiopia, where Ethiopians and Eritrean soldiers are blocking food deliveries and other assistances. Francis called for an immediate end to the fighting in the Tigray and the return of social harmony, and for all food aid and health care assistance to be guaranteed. Speaking at his Sunday noon blessing, Francis said he was thinking of the people of Tigray who have been struck by a grave humanitarian crisis that has exposed the poorest to famine. Today, there is famine, there is hunger. That is the statement from Pope Francis. So, he is also aware of what's going on in the Tigray region. He's calling an open access for, humanitarian aid to all starving people. He said there is famine, there is hunger in Tigray. Today, the United Nations and aid groups say more than 350,000 people in Tigray face famine, and 2 million more are a step away from the worst famine since 2011 in Somalia. 2 million just a step away from famine, which happened in 2011 in Somalia. 350,000 Tigrayans are facing famine. So this is a very huge number, thanks to Abiy Ahmed, who created all this mess. Never heard of hunger in Tigray when the TPLF was in power. All this mess is created by Abiy Ahmed and Eritrean criminal forces. Farmers, aid workers, and local officials say food has been turned into a weapon of war, with soldiers blocking or stealing food aid. This is very serious accusation. Very serious accusation. Ethiopians and Eritreans and those forces, in Tigray, using food as a weapon by starving Tigray residents, Tigray region residents, by stealing the food, by blocking the food aid. So this is a very serious human rights violation, and repeatedly coming to international media, using food aid as a weapon of choice, blocking aid, stealing the aid, burning the aid. So credit for this one, Associated Press. Okay, I have one positive news from Addis Ababa. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, Adanech Abibe, Mayor of Addis Ababa, Mr. Takkele Uma, former Addis Ababa Mayor, Dr. Mulatu Teshome, former President of Ethiopia, other invited dignitaries and Addis Ababa residents celebrated the completion of Meskel Square. Its old name is Hora Finfinne project today. So they cut the ribbon for the completion of Meskel Square, or Hora Finfinne by its old name. This project is designed and constructed with the Chinese and Ethiopian engineers, and its cost is about 2.5 billion Ethiopian birr. The project includes modern parking lot for more than 1,400 vehicles, 35 shops, Churchill Road renovation, 6 huge modern advertising boards, modern restrooms, bathrooms, pedestrian sidewalks, resting areas, plant and flower fields, and many other beautifying sectors. So this is a huge project, very huge project. Meskel Square has been used for rallies, religious celebrations like Meskel, sport activities, music festivals, and other events. It has been used for all this before the renovation, or before this project. So, any project designed to change the living condition of Ethiopians is appreciated. This is a comment from Concerned Citizens Media. Any project designed to change the living conditions of Ethiopians is appreciated. We don't feel jealous, as the Prime Minister and his supporters have been claiming. We oppose playing politics with projects like the Prime Minister and his Prosperity Party officials are cutting several project ribbons just a week before the general election in the country. They play politics, even with this one. How many days left for the election? Maybe a week. Look what they're doing. They make adjustment for the ribbon cutting, the completion of the project close to the election, so they can be elected, so they can be, hey, we did this, so elect us. That's playing politics. Rather than that, we should appreciate when something big happen to change the living condition of Ethiopians, by attracting domestic and global tourists, generating money, getting employment, which is okay, What we oppose is the killing of people, the killing of people, and the injustice the people suffer under Abiy Ahmed, and what he has been doing in Oromia and other parts. We don't feel jealous about the development of Ethiopia, with all project they have. It's okay. Project is okay. Development is okay, but human rights violations, all these atrocities against Oromos, against Tigrayans, and against others, that should be condemned. Don't kill Hachalu Hundesa and go to Intoto, plant a tree. That's why we oppose you. That's a crime. We oppose you killing your own citizens. You break law and order. You don't respect the court decision. You arrest whoever you want. You release whoever you want. We don't want that kind of system. We want free and fair trials for all. And, everybody is innocent until it's found guilty. We want justice, freedom for all Ethiopians. So, project is fine. This is a positive news for them. It's okay. This is a huge project. That's okay. But stop killing people. Stop using the killing squad. And stop dragging the dead body on the streets of Ethiopia by giving people just Onak Shane or Junta or other names. These are human beings. Stop doing that, and stop playing politics with your project. So we'll see. Election is coming. I know you don't have no competition in Oromia, but other areas you may lose some seats. But Oromia region, you guarantee prosperity parties, because you are intimidating, you are threatening, and Oromos with all kind of stuff. Anybody who refuses to vote for you, you may arrest them, you may torture them, you may deny them service, public service. That's why we hear from different information. Okay, let's continue. I think this is the last one. Deal over Russian naval base is under review. Sudan's Al-Burhan. Abdul Fattah al-Burhan, head of the Transitional Council, said that the agreement with the Russian on the naval base hasn't been cancelled, but rather is under review. It was reported by different media. It was cancelled, but it's not cancelled. Discussions are underway on how to draft this agreement and how to adapt it by concerned authorities such as the Legislative Council, along with other authorities participating in the Transitional Authority, Al-Burhani told the Ashaq TV on Thursday. Also, this agreement needs a review because it was made in an earlier period and now conditions have changed in Sudan. He further stressed. Last May, Sudanese authorities stopped the deployment of Russian forces in a Sudanese naval base, flaming on the Red Sea. Further, Khartoum requested Moscow to withdraw all the military equipment, radars, and communication devices that had been shipped to the base. Credit Sudan Tribune. So, Russia tried to have a base, a naval base at the port of Sudan, even Red Sea area, and Somalia. So Russia is coming close to Ethiopia for some reason. We don't know. We don't know the reason, but they are coming. And also the Americans also try to have some naval base. So there is a competition to that area. That area is very important. A lot of activities around the Red Sea, and but that deal, the deal between Russia and the Sudan transitional government, still it's not over. They say it's under review. So when the review is finished, maybe they can approve it, or they may deny it. We don't know, but it's not cancelled, as some media reported. Thank you. That's the reading part, and let's listen the first video from Deputy Prime Minister McConnell accusing the international aid organizations arming TPLF. This is very serious. They came up with this kind of accusation because, as you know, the global pressure is on them, on Ethiopia, to open up, to end the conflict, and to allow humanitarian aid to reach every corner in that region. So they come up with this thing, accusing the international organization, hey, you are not bringing food, you are bringing guns, so we will not let you come in. That's all. Maybe they try to say that, or they may have some proof. I have no idea, but I don't trust any statement coming from Ethiopia, to tell you the truth. I don't trust. They repeatedly lie. They are not trustworthy officials. They repeatedly lie to Ethiopians. They repeatedly lie to the global community, all, including the Prime Minister and Dina Mufti, all these other officials, military and civilian officials, all of them, they lie. And they don't apologize. They don't apologize. That's a very bad culture. When you make a mistake, you apologize. But they are not making mistake. They are purposely lying. And how you gonna trust what they say now on this video, if it's true or false? You have no proof. They are lying, because they lied before multiple times about the presence of Eritrean forces for about 3 months. They lied. They keep lying, including religious person Daniel Kubrat, advisor of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, including. Usually, religious person don't lie. They don't lie. Religious person scared of their creator. They tell the truth. They give the true advice to the Prime Minister. But the one we have, Daniel Kubrat, he lied on public TV. He supported Abiy Ahmed by lying. So I don't have any credibility with these people. They lying. So the Prime Minister, this Deputy Prime Minister statement, his speech, may be a lie or a fabrication against the international community. Let's listen anyway.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Ethiopia stands ready to work positively and constructively with all its partners to scale up humanitarian assistance, rebuild social cohesion, and restore basic services in the Tigray region of Ethiopia. Therefore, what the country needs at this critical moment is the support of friends and partners, and not uncalled for pressure that would complicate the situation further. What is saddening is the attempt to dictate terms to the country in ways that are not helpful. We do not consider this a friendly act. That is why the Ethiopian government cannot be expected to accept with equanimity this condescending approach. We are indeed disappointed by the campaign that is being waged against Ethiopia. In this regard, it is extremely regrettable to see that some within the international community have embarked on a mission to undermine the unity, territorial integrity, and the cohesion of the Ethiopian state under the guise of humanitarian concern. We urge these individuals and partners to desist from these unhelpful activities. In this regard, accusations leveled against Ethiopia of using hunger as a weapon of war on its own citizens is an egregious falsehood and in no way calculated to help foster peace, harmony, and stability. It should be noted that in the first round of humanitarian response, effort was made to reach out to 4.5 million people in the Tigray region through the delivery of food and non-food items. In the second and third rounds, the relief efforts were able to reach out to 5.2 million people. So far, 170,798 metric tons of food worth $135 million have already been distributed. Currently, 6 operators, namely World Food Program, World Vision, CARE, Relief Society of Tigray, Food for the Hungry, and the Ethiopian government are providing food assistance in the region. The Ethiopian government has not only demonstrated its willingness and commitment to work with the international community to respond to the humanitarian crisis in Tigray, but it has also provided full and unfettered access for humanitarian actors to operate in all parts of the region through a simplified blanket approval process. In the areas where safe movement of humanitarian cargo are strained, military escort is offered as a matter of last resort to reach those in need. In this connection, we wish to point out here that we have credible evidence indicating that some actors have attempted to smuggle weapons to arm the terrorist cell under the guise of humanitarian assistance. This is unacceptable. There is no doubt about the enormity of the challenge in the Tigray region. It is through working with the government to accelerate the humanitarian response, to reach out to every person in need that will address the problem. The Ethiopian government is well aware of its responsibilities towards its own citizens and its obligations under the international humanitarian law. The Ethiopian government is using every ounce of its strength to mobilize all the necessary resources from within the country to reach out those in need, but its resources are limited. This is where the support and solidarity of the international community becomes all the more critical. We are grateful to those who lent a helping hand in this regard. We wish to reiterate once again that the Ethiopian government remains ready and committed to work closely with those partners willing to engage positively and constructively to protect lives and livelihoods. I thank you.
Okay, so that is Deputy Prime Minister Demeke Mekonnen defending the Ethiopian government and warning the international aid organizations who are smuggling weapons and arming TPLF. So this is a very serious argument he's making. I know he didn't say about Eritrean forces withdrawal. He ignored it. He ignored it purposely. He and the Prime Minister ignored this question as the global community demanded the Eritrean soldiers withdraw from Ethiopia. So he ignored that, but he just came up with this allegation. Okay, that's for just to share what Ethiopia is thinking about the global issues. Let's see the other videos. Okay. Okay, just give me, let me adjust.
Ever wanted the sensation like you're floating on air? You can with Skechers' new Glide Step footwear. Feels like you're floating as our Aero Comfort outsoles give you a pillowy soft landing, then propel you forward. Plus, they have Skechers' exclusive air-cooled memory foam. Try Skechers' new Glide Step.
Advertisement. There we go.
The G7 today need to wake up and listen to the science. There isn't room for discussion on this. Scientific inevitability, and they need to act. They don't need to talk anymore. They need to just act.
This is a protest against the G7 group.
Climate change has been on the agenda of the G7 since maybe 2003. So we need to see action, not just talk. And we've only got 9 years left to halve carbon emissions if we're going to stop dangerous climate change happening.
Okay, this one is President Joe Biden and other G7 groups, I think, visiting Queen Elizabeth II. Joe Biden is his wife. So the G7 group taking the time to pay, respect, take a photo, and greeting with Queen Elizabeth II. I think just maybe a couple of months ago she lost her husband. There we go. Taking picture and chatting.
After 12 years in power, Benjamin Netanyahu has been ousted as Israel's prime minister after a new coalition government won a vote of confidence in
I
parliament.
believe this is the
It will
last
be led
video.
for 2 years by the right-wing nationalist Naftali Bennett, and as part of a power-sharing deal, he will then hand over to the centrist Yair Lapid for a further 2 years. Here's our Middle East correspondent, Tom Bateman.
They've waited for 12 years. In this divided country, for the people who wanted to oust their most enduring leader, now it's their moment. It took a chaotic vote in Israel's parliament to get there. With the count about to start, Mr. Netanyahu makes one last stand. Iran is celebrating because they understand there will be a weak and slack government, he says. The opposition in Israel will have a clear and strong voice. The new coalition scrapes in by just a single vote. It was all over for Israel's combative, often controversial leader, one who leaves an indelible legacy. Benjamin Netanyahu rose rallying Israelis against the Oslo peace deals with the Palestinians. He was a figurehead for the right. Supporters saw him as Mr. Security, but opponents despised his tough brand of nationalism. He won successive elections, but he split voters, and a trial for corruption, claims he denies, left him increasingly isolated. Israel's new PM is Mr. Netanyahu's former aide, Naftali Bennett, a nationalist who opposes a future Palestinian state. He called for unity, but laid into those he said were tearing the country apart. After 2 years, he'll hand over to the centrist Yair Lapid. How long will the coalition last? Israel's new coalition spans the left to the nationalist right, and for the first time, an Arab-Israeli party. Naftali Bennett now has to lead the broadest coalition in Israeli history, and that could make it one of the most unstable. He has his work cut out just to govern. They have a crisis to deal with after Israel's recent war with Hamas in Gaza and violent division inside Israel. Fears are rising of new tensions again. But But this is a moment of Israeli history, as the throne is pulled away from the politician some called the King of Israel. Tom Bateman, BBC News, Jerusalem.
Okay, the king of Israel is out. Benjamin Netanyahu, after serving Israel as a prime minister for 12 years and other different positions, he was eager to stay, but they removed him. Just as you heard, by a single vote difference. He was extremely very dangerous when it comes to Palestinians' blood. He is brutal, very brutal, and very eager to take the whole Palestinian lands, the whole annexation, and bribing all these Arab countries with the help of Donald Trump at the time to recognize Israel. So it's very dangerous. I don't know his removal if it can make a difference, because Israelis mostly, they are the same objective, expansion of Israeli land further into Palestinian areas. So he is gone, and we'll see what the other leaders do next, how they deal with Palestinian issues, how they deal with the expansion, the settlement issues, how they're gonna answer the 1967 border questions, how they're gonna answer the two-state solution. So many unanswered questions, so many challenges remain to be seen. So I'm happy he's gone. He's a very bad guy, never satisfied with the Palestinian bloods, never. He wanna go to conflict every time with little or no excuses. He wanna take over the whole area of Palestine. So that's the update I have for you for today. I hope you enjoyed. I ask you again to share your thought, share with your friends, families, so we can help grow the Concerned Citizens Media, so we can be the voice for the voiceless back home. I appreciate again for your past comments, suggestions, and I would like to have again your constructive views. What area I have to make change, what I have to add. Even you can send me, if you have some good news, worthy updates, through my email, birke663@gmail.com. You can send me, I can check it out. If it's breaking news, if you have very good news, I can share it on Concerned Citizens Media. Thank you again for taking your time and listening to Concerned Citizens Media. I will be back with other updates and comments. So I want to close with this one. Abiy Ahmed and the Prosperity Party members, please, yes, we appreciate any project you are constructing, but we don't appreciate you killing your own citizens. We don't appreciate you breaking the law. We don't appreciate jailing our political leaders. We don't appreciate playing karates on our senior citizens, Abba Gadas, like you did before, breaking into their house in the middle of darkness kicking them around. These very respected people. We don't appreciate this, but we appreciate any project you did. You inaugurated today in Addis Ababa with 2.5 billion. Yes, it's a big money, but it's okay. It's okay. It's gonna create jobs by creating tourists, and can be used for festivals and other celebration. We have no problem. We don't feel jealous. Don't say that. Don't say that to make your argument. Don't say that Americans are jealous. Americans want to tell you what to eat for breakfast and lunch. No, we are not. We have serious concern in Tigray. We have serious concern in Benishangul. We have serious concerns in Oromia and other areas. People are dying. Lawlessness is expanding everywhere. The judiciary system is broken. The legal rights of political prisoners, any prisoner is not respected. So we want these things to be changed. That's why we are opposing you. That's why we ask you to resign, because the country is collapsing under your leadership. I know you're gonna win because you kick all other oppositions from Oromia region. I know you are coming, but I don't know what difference you can make. So, for the sake of the country, again, Concerned Citizens Media call upon you to resign and facilitate dialogue, reconciliation with all stakeholders for the sake of the country. If you care, really, if you care about Ethiopia. That is my closing statement. Thank you again, listeners. I will be back next time with other news and Concerned Citizens Media comment. Thank you. So long, everyone.